Jim Cramer is a stock advice guy on TV in the US who owns 3 houses here in San Miguel. And he's described them as extraordinarily good investments because the carrying costs are essentially zero. Property taxes on a home will be $300-400. Utilities will be $10 or $20 a month or something of this sort. And if you need household help or gardeners and things like that, they also are quite inexpensive. So I mention this because number one, it's a good thing to know, and then number two, it explains quite a bit about what's happened in the market over the last year or so. There was a fantastic oversupply. A big chunk of those houses have come off the market. In many cases, they represent people's second or third or fourth homes, and because the carrying costs are low, they can choose to take them off the market. And a number of sellers have recognized the situation and gotten serious about their pricing. So I have in the last few months been involved in 2 deals. One where the house price was originally listed at $1,250,000, and a little over a year later went into contract at $825,000. And I was involved in another transaction where the property had originally been listed at $425,000 and went into contract at $243,000. And we have seen quite a number of these kinds of deals at 60-70% of asking price, sometimes even a little less. And there has now become, in the last 60 days, quite a lot of activity, which is really surprising to me. I've been amazed at how many people have contacted me during the pandemic. And I have, of course, encouraged them not to travel during this time, but there are plenty of people who have. And so there are everyday requests for different property price range, certain characteristics and so forth. So I think that things are moving into a more normal market faster than I had anticipated. I thought we were going to sort of sit for a couple of years before there were really serious price reductions, but that's not the case. So whether you would actually call this a buyer's market, if it's not, it's very, very close. And there are people all over the place who are intending to come here during the year and look. So many sellers are eager, some are not, but many are. And there are a tremendous number of buyers out there who are, wanting to look. So if you have been thinking about looking, it probably is reasonable to plan to do that this year. And as I've mentioned in previous videos and blogs, sales prices are not matters of public record. So it isn't possible to have a Zillow-like thing that can tell you what the price of a property is. But it is definitely the case that prices have fallen significantly, certainly in the order of a third or more, and probably the absolute bottom will be seen in the next 18 months or so. At least that's my best guess. And otherwise, things are rolling along. We are in we returned to a red class status in regard to the virus, and that means capacity restrictions in restaurants and hotels and gyms and so forth. And of course, we've been wearing masks everywhere for the better part of a year and so forth. We've also had, I think, the best year of weather that we've had in all the time that I've been here. But at any rate, there are a lot of opportunities out there. And if you are interested in looking, I would suggest that you plan to do that in the next 12 to 18 months. There is seldom financing available here, but there is a little bit more than there was 2 years ago. And some people are definitely ready to make a deal and others are not. So my most successful clients have been those who said, it's possible for me to really love 4 or 5 houses. I'm not somebody who falls in love with a specific one. So show me a range of good values and, tell me, what makes sense here. And I think if you approach it that way, this is really a golden time for buyers. For sellers, if you want to sell, price your property correctly. And then I have spoken in other videos, but I mean, everybody is wanting the dream. So, fix your house up. If you have little watermarks, paint them away. If you have a broken window, fix it. I should probably return to that in another video in more detail, but make your house beautiful, like something that you would see in Elle Decor or Architectural Digest or something. So that is really all I have to say, but I believe that the absolute bottom will be seen within the next 18 months. And if you are interested in looking, it's a good time to begin. The number of houses in any given price range neighborhood are fairly small, so a week or 10 days is ample time to see sort of everything in your budget or everything in the neighborhood you want. And of course, I encourage people to spend plenty of time here before they make a decision about buying. Come and be here, see what it's like, spend a month, walk around, see what it'll be like for you. But it remains for me a dream place almost 20 years later. And it's not true that everybody in San Miguel owns 4 dogs, but it does sound like that an awful lot of the time. So anyway, thanks so much and take good care.